everybody, it's Mumbles, and for this video I want to try something different. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of video game review on this channel, and since I'm out of practice, I kind of wanted to do it with Nicholas, who is here with us right now.
Hello, I'm Nicholas. I'm here with us.
We want to talk about Unpacking. I'm sorry, I've been playing it for the last 3 hours.
Yeah, it's almost the whole game. It's not long, but
No.
It's terrific.
Unpacking. It's a game that I've been looking forward to for the past year, maybe 2 years even. I saw the original thought process behind it when it first came out. The Twitter account just started tweeting out different rooms that they were working on and different items they were working on, and it was really intriguing to me. So it's out now, and it's everything that I wanted it to be, honestly. It's a game where you unpack things from boxes when you move into a new place, and it kind of tells the story of this girl's journey to womanhood. That's right, Erie.
Erie loves it too.
I really enjoyed it. But one thing I noticed about it that it might trigger some people's anxiety, I think, because sometimes you move into an area that is very messy or very much not your stuff. And for me, it was so funny, and we'll talk a little bit about this level later, but there's one point where she moves in with a boyfriend, and I was like, oh, well, I obviously can't move any of his stuff. So I spent most of the level putting stuff around his stuff, and then finally I couldn't take it anymore. And I started moving his things. But it's funny because, for me personally, I am kind of a messy person just in general. And even though I do have some compulsive tendencies, it has nothing to do with neatness. So for me, it's all about just all right, I know all the clothes are over here. All right, I know all the books are over here. I don't need everything to be beautiful and be color-coded and everything to be in the same drawer or whatever. I really have never needed that.
Oh, quick thing. We're going to have a lot of spoilers in this one. So
Yes.
if you want to play this game without knowing anything, please just play it. It's on Game Pass, which is also on PC. You can get 3 months for $1.
Right.
It's the best deal in gaming. It's on Xbox. It's on Switch. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're actually gonna go deep into spoilers, but before we go into spoilers, it's a great game. I loved it. Nick loved it. It honestly does storytelling with really limited game mechanics, which is something that I think is really awesome. And is there anything else you want to say that's not spoilery?
Well, No, let's just get into the spoilers. Okay, first thing, the environmental storytelling I want to talk about. That is a background thing in most games. In this game, that's it. You only hear from the protagonist in a little caption at the end of each level. Right. And you're going through, every couple years, you move to a new place and you unpack. And there is just the only thing that tells you what's going on is the stuff you're unpacking. Yes. And real unpacking, sometimes there's a shoe in one box and in the other box is the other shoe. Yeah. And the order you take stuff out, it's all right, this is what I'm doing with this. And I agree with I've seen some people they did an AMA on Reddit. Oh. Some people were like, this is actually really stressful for me. Yeah. They had really severe ADHD, and it was no thank you. Yeah. But in the playtesting, they saw that some people were really stressed out by the concept, but then once they were playing it, it was okay. Well,
you learn that you can place all your clothes on the bed before you hang them up. You learn that you can put all your toiletries in the bathtub and then sort them out. And that's really what you would do if you were actually moving. Mm-hmm. But it's my cat destroying our bed.
It's fine. We'll buy a new one later.
We'll unpack that one. So I think I do think that it could be triggering for people who really cannot handle mess in any shape or form. But for me, I'm just a generally messy person. So for me, it was just kind of like, there's a spoon in the bathroom boxes. Okay, run into the kitchen. And then all of a sudden you're unpacking all the kitchen stuff and so on.
It was really interesting because we just moved into this house.
Yeah.
Like 5 months ago now.
Yeah.
And so there were things in this game that really struck close to home.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it was, this was a thing I heard you mention earlier about how, not on this, but about how it's someone around our age.
Right.
So it is things we remember. One of my favorite things in it is they kept getting the newest Nintendo console.
I knew you were gonna love that.
Well, you could recognize the game cases too.
Yes.
Like there was Wind Waker, Animal Crossing, and they were blurry. They were pixelated, so you can't, like, it's not technically like...
But if you own those physical copies of the game, you recognize the game case.
They had people tweeting at them to help them where to put the GameCube because they didn't know what it was, because the GameCube came out in like 2001.
No
and
way.
That's 20 years ago. So people don't know what a GameCube is.
Whoa.
They're like, what is this? Where do I put it? And they're like, oh, I'm so old.
Whoa. Well, you know what? I didn't know. One item that I never understood it was until I heard the sound effect was the water bottle. It's a heated, what's it called? Hot compress? Yeah, but it's got water in it.
Yeah.
So you like heat it up. Because I've never ever used one of those.
I like that you can just put that one under the bed, put it under the sink. It was kind of like wherever it lands. Like,
yeah.
Right now. Like, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, it's on the floor. Like, it's fine. You use it to sleep, you're good. Let's talk about the sound effects.
Yeah.
There's this thing in movies called Foley effects. Foley.
Okay.
It is basically background sounds, usually added in post. Like if someone's shirt is ruffling on a chair.
Right.
If you have some crinkling in the snow, that is a Foley effect that they usually add in post. And the thing is with those, a lot of them, you can't use the actual sound. Like I know cutting vegetables, a lot of times you can't just cut a vegetable and record it. It doesn't sound real enough, even though it's exactly what it sounds like. So there's these people, especially in like Hollywood, that their whole thing is Foley effects. And on this game, they had 14,000 of them. They're usually background effects. It's like the whole thing in this. So
they basically like found a database that has all of these Foley effects?
No, they had 2 people record them for months.
Stop it.
They had one person who was in charge of it and had to bring in the wife too.
No way.
Because most of it, they did record the actual thing. Like there was this like 49-second Twitter video going around where they put this Febreze bottle. It was like,
oh my God.
Just on the toilet, on the sink, on the floor. And what they did, they brought the Febreze bottle into a soundproof room with a bunch of flat surfaces, clinked it on that one, clinked it on that one, clinked it on that one. Took months.
Dude. I was going to say the Febreze bottle I always put on the back of the toilet.
Right.
And it sounded just like it.
Because they recorded putting a Febreze bottle on the back of some porcelain. And they did in a soundproof room so they could add effects really easily to make it sound different in the bathroom versus different in the kitchen because of like the echo, the reverb, distortion, all that stuff.
Wow. Well, and another sound that I thought was really great was the magnet.
Yes.
The magnet was fantastic. Yeah.
That's what I got on Foley effects.
Wow.
Do you want to talk about moving into the boyfriend's house?
Okay, so before we get into moving into the boyfriend's house, so obviously spoilers. No, please go play this game.
If you don't want to be spoiled, you're already too late.
If you are here, you're already going in. So the game starts off when you're a little teenager moving into your own little room, and then you move into a dorm room, and then you move into your friend's house, which is actually my favorite level. Let's talk about that a little later. And then you move into your boyfriend's house. And this one was so interesting to me because by my second box, I was like, this isn't going to work out. Because all of the things that he had weren't complementary to the things that she had.
Right. Well, when we first moved in together, I had a lot more stuff than you.
Okay, so listeners at home, I had 2 garbage bags full of things. That was all I had.
Yeah.
Nick had a whole trailer.
A full U-Haul.
Yeah.
The big U-Haul.
Plus whatever we could bring back in your car.
Yeah. So this was, it kind of struck a chord with me.
Huh.
Because they spent a lot of time making this boyfriend obviously suck.
But, are you saying that when you moved in with me, you could tell I obviously sucked?
No.
By my 2 bags of stuff?
Me.
No.
I was worried. Okay.
No.
So in this game, the girlfriend moves into the boy's house. It's all like, everything's like black decor. He has
protein
like
powder,
man shampoo. Do not. I smell like tires. All right, I am cool.
A very special like coffee maker. All of the spoons are like brass.
Yeah, and that I was like thinking like, oh no, because he didn't help her move in.
Right.
He didn't move any of his stuff.
No.
She was just lucky if he had an empty drawer.
Yeah.
And it was just because he hadn't. He has like 6 pairs of socks, and that's it. And he did not make room for her.
I see.
She had to kind of slide in to the already open spaces all by herself. And
everything that she moved in completely clashed with what he had. There was nothing she owned that looked like it matched what he had.
And like you were saying, eventually she had to start kind of pushing his stuff off to the side a little bit just to make room for her. And I was like very worried that is how it was when we moved in together.
So let me tell you what happened when we moved in together. So Nick lived in LA and I lived closer to San Francisco. And I found an apartment for us. And at the time I was basically living out of 2 garbage bags. I'm not making that up. That's about the amount of stuff that I had. Maybe even a little less. So we found this apartment in a really nice area, and I had nothing. And the first night that I was there, before I went back to LA to help you move up, I had to sleep on a yoga mat that I stole from my parents' house.
It was like slightly thicker than yoga mat. It was like a military like sleep roll.
Exactly. And I didn't have any blankets, so I had to like cover myself up with like a sweatshirt. And I was playing Dear Esther at the time for some fucking reason. So like,
you had your laptop to get even sadder.
So I just remember sitting in this apartment and just being like, I don't have anything. How am I going to live like this? Like, I don't know. And then you came with these beautiful blue plates. I'm going to start crying. But like the blue plates that we have now with the bowls and the white and the blue stripes, I remember seeing those plates and being like, oh, everything's going to be okay. And I know that's so stupid, but that's why I've never gotten rid of those plates.
Oh, that's so nice.
And so, honestly, having you fill the place up with your stuff made me feel like I had a home again. I didn't think I was going to start crying, but yeah.
Well, it's like everybody's unpacked before. Yeah. And the thing is, when you're packing, it's the end of a chapter of your life.
Right.
And when you unpack, it's the start of a new chapter.
Right.
And sometimes the new chapter starts when you are not ready for it.
Right.
Or it's something bad happened. And then she had to put her diploma under the bed.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
You can move stuff. You cannot move his vintage posters.
Oh my God.
It was like...
I know.
The most wild thing. And they put so much work into, like, if you replay this game, trying to, like, find a place to put it, you can temporarily hang it in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
That's the only place. And
you can hang it.
It's the only place you can hang it. You have to put it under the bed.
Yeah, I remember putting it under the bed. And I was like, this is messed up. And it actually reminded me of when we moved in together and you had your diploma. And I don't have I don't know where my diploma is. It's somewhere. Because, like, college wasn't the best experience for me, so I don't really care. Mm-hmm. And I remember being like, I mean, sure, you can hang your diploma. I didn't understand. And then we found a place for it. It's almost like she didn't have the chance to communicate that that diploma meant something to her. So can we please put it up someplace, like, instead of your Pulp Fiction poster, please, you know?
Yeah, and you get the sense that there was no communication at all between them.
Right.
She, like, moved in one day when he was at work or something, and he just was going to come home and be like, oh, you moved my shampoo?
Yeah.
My man poo?
Well, and that was the other thing that I thought was interesting was the different jobs that they had. Because I think she was a barista or something, because all of her work clothes had, like, the little pumpkin on it. So... and she had a pumpkin apron. So it signified to me that she probably worked at like a Starbucks or something. And then he was like this business guy with a high-rise luxury apartment, you know? And it's like that difference in occupation that young is really hard.
And my favorite thing about it was she kept her art supplies the whole time.
Yeah. Because
that was her dream. And she kept working towards it.
Yes.
And at the end, she has a book.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I haven't played...
You're at the very last chapter. It's like the last... It's like one of the last things. Like, she finally achieves her dream. That's been following... Like, she keeps getting, like, a couple more markers.
Yeah.
And she, like, switches to, like, a...
pads, yeah.
Like, a writing pad for her computer. And it's... She sticks with it, even when she has to, like, hide it in the corner of her boyfriend's house.
Man.
And then the things that follow her from one place to the next.
So interesting.
Was the most affecting for me.
What was your favorite item that made it through the entire thing? Does the pig go into the kids' room?
If you want.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, it goes in the crib.
Oh, stop it.
That pig, it got torn apart at one point. He's like got this huge gash in him. That's like when she moves into her first like escape the boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
Like she moves back home, and the back home part is like a rebuilding. Like you move back in with your parents, like things are terrible, but you're going to like pull yourself out of despondency. And then the first place she moves, dingy.
Yeah.
The deadbolt is very strong.
Yeah.
It's clearly a terrible neighborhood, but it's hers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that you definitely go through when you're just, I mean, I don't know if I've ever like had that happen necessarily, but I have moved to places that were like not necessarily the safest areas, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
But then like she got there, she got another Europe tchotchke.
Oh, yeah.
Because she like started to travel. She hadn't traveled for a while.
Yeah.
Because she was like, all right, boyfriend life. And then she started traveling again. She fixed the pig.
Yeah.
She kept getting more little chickens.
Oh, yeah.
The art supplies kept increasing. She got better computer. She keeps getting the new Nintendo console. She got up to the Wii. And it's she got like some more movies and books.
Yeah.
But always kept her scrapbook.
Yes,
too.
I noticed
And
that too.
There was always a place for it.
Yeah. My favorite level was when she first moves in with her friends. It looked like maybe it was a girl and a boy that she moved in. And it looked like it was her D&D group or her MMO group or something like that. And I loved how everything was kind of mismatched. Everyone's stuff was all thrown together and it felt really good. Like, the first time you move in with roommates, it's like the best thing in the whole world because you just are in this environment where there's always someone to hang out with. And it's fine that all your stuff kind of clashes. It's fun that it kind of clashes. and you have like shared living spaces that like might have a 3-day-old bowl of ramen sitting there that someone needs to clean up, but everyone refuses to. So that level was really the most fun for me, I think. And it really showed the jump between living in a dorm and like moving in with a bunch of people.
And her being like a nerd girl was a very unique protagonist. We don't get that nearly as much. It's more now than it used to be.
Yeah.
But compared to like, say 2010.
Oh, for sure.
Like it never happened. I
love the concept for the protagonist, and I'm sure that the people who made the game, it means something to them, right?
Well, two of the developers like moved in together, and they were unpacking their stuff, and they kind of gamified it in their brain as they were doing it, just talking about it and sharing stories, and that's kind of where the concept came from. God, then they worked on this for 3 years.
That's so beautiful. That makes me so happy.
It's so nice.
Let's see what else I got. You start to familiarize yourself with items. So the most fun one to me was the chickens. Mm-hmm. She gets this big like chicken plushie, and then the next year she gets like a different chick. And each time she moves into a new place, she gets a new little like chick to go with the big head.
The one has like half an eggshell.
Oh, I love that
the one is just the legs sticking out of the egg. Yeah. And it's like they get the brown ones and the black ones, and there's just this whole little family.
Yeah.
And every house, I just put them all on the bed. The stuffed animals always got to go on the bed.
Really? The chickens to me were a conversation piece, so I always put them in the living room.
Wonderful. And they're both fine.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about this game. At the end of the level, it like flashes red on items that are in the very wrong place. And so you have to kind of figure it out. Oh, let's talk about the ex-boyfriend picture.
Oh, okay. Before we talk about the ex-boyfriend picture, let's explain the red flashing thing, because I think we kind of like skated over that.
Okay, so you unpack every box. As you unpack the box, you like click the box, and it does this really satisfying fold-up animation and disappears.
It feels good. Sounds good.
Because when we get rid of boxes, unpacking feels great.
Yeah.
And this has inspired me to like finally finish unpacking these boxes. And
they're in the basement. Who cares?
I know, but that's a problem too. Just hiding it. But then you finish it, and then the things that are in the wrong place, they have like a red outline. Right. It's like you can't just put this here. You can't just leave it on the floor. So,
and the cool thing about it is that it's not super like specific where you need to put these items. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different places you can put things. It's funny that you put the diploma underneath the bed, by the way, because I put it at the bottom of the closet and it was fine.
You need to hide it.
Hide it. Yeah. Hide your flame. Your beautiful inner flame of creativity.
Yep.
So there isn't a really, really specific place to put stuff. So people who are worried about that, don't worry. It'll flash red, and then you're like, oh, it just goes with all the other games. Or, oh, it goes on the table. And it's really not that hard.
Yeah, like clothes mostly goes in the drawers in the closet.
Be as messy with it as you want. Trust me, I was real messy with it.
I was making stacks.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is the wrong size. The small one goes on top. Okay.
Right.
The books and video games, DVDs, all go on the shelves. Just put them on the shelves. It's fine.
Right.
If you stack them upwards, stack them like sideways, it's fine.
And if you're someone that really wants the room to look like amazing and awesome, like I said, my big tip is to like make piles first on the ground and on the bed, and then put them over so that you're able to go, oh, all the DVDs go here. Oh, all this stuff goes here. But it's really not that specific. It's really lenient of where you put stuff.
One of my Twitter mutuals empties every box onto the floor first, and then organize everything, which would make my bookshelves look much better than they did.
It's smarter. It's a smart move, but we're not those kind of people.
Right? I'm just like,
that's not us.
Goes on the shelf.
And that'll never be us.
I'll look at it later.
What was the other thing you want to talk about?
Boyfriend picture.
Okay,
so this one level, after you move out, so you move back into your childhood home, and you have like your karate belts hanging up, and you're like, this room's not as
right. They
big.
were karate belts.
Yeah, because everyone did karate when we were young. And you inevitably get up to a certain color, and then you quit. Like I did. Like this game's protagonist did.
Yes.
We almost got to the same color, too. There's only a certain amount of martial arts you can do before you're like, I'm done. I get it. I'm not going to punch anybody, probably. Because that's what they say, don't punch anybody. Anyway, so you move back into your childhood home. You have this cork board where you've been putting all your pictures every time you move.
Right.
And then the one has the red line around it. You're like, this is where pictures go.
Right.
But when you put it up, there's the really subtle detail. The pin goes right through his face.
Yes.
There's so much subtlety in this game. It's ridiculous. And so you hide it.
Yeah.
You hide it in the bottom of like the dresser or maybe under the bed. I don't know. It worked in hiding it at the bottom of the dresser for me. And it was like, oh yeah, don't look at this. And then the next move, it's gone. Because there's eventually you like, I don't need this anymore. Doesn't spark joy.
Right, exactly.
Throw it away.
Well, it was interesting because as I'm unpacking to move into the boyfriend's place, I'm like, this isn't going to work out. This is going to be really awful. And so when the next level happens where you're moving back in with your parents, I was like, yep.
I heard you from the other room. You were like, oh.
And so you put all your stuff away, and I think that was the room that was the most lenient. You could really do whatever you wanted.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because even the game's like, you had a bad time. Just
whatever works for you, bud. And so I finished the room, and I put everything where it was supposed to be. So the only thing that was flashing was the ex-boyfriend picture. And I was like, oh no.
Yep. So good.
So after you move out of your parents into the new place that is like your own place and you're healing, there is an interesting detail where she has a cane. And I think that was really subtle. There really isn't any other things that tell you what the injury could have been or what happened.
Well, the cane, the yoga mat, and the hot water bottle all came at the same time.
No, the yoga mat was there since college.
They're all in my brain, at least. There's so many things. They are all, you're getting older.
Yeah.
Things just get hurt. Sometimes you just have to ice your knee because you sat on the couch too long.
Which is what Nick is doing as soon as we're done recording. Because we are 35.
So old.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think it is just you're getting older, and so either you have an accident like I did. I don't use a cane anymore, but I did for a short while. And so it's possible that it was just a accident, and then she had to use the cane for a bit, and then she was okay, or broke something.
It could also be grandparents' cane, and then they died, and it has like a sword in it, so it's just cool. And you're like, where else am I going to put it besides the umbrella bin?
It's true.
And that's another thing. Like, it could be like, what's emergent storytelling? It
totally was the grandparents' thing because of the menorah. She didn't have the menorah until later, and so it was. What probably happened is her grandparents died, and so she inherited the menorah and the cane and whatever. And like the cane, for whatever reason, she just had good memories of, so they gave it to her. So
as a kid, she just had a dreidel.
Yeah.
And like that's another thing. Like as you get older, you could like sometimes reconnect with your faith,
right? Or
just I don't know. There's so many memories attached to things.
Yeah. Which
is why one time we tried to we did a Marie Kondo of all our like clothes and a lot of our stuff. We threw out a bunch of clothes, but they were all clothes that we'd worn before.
Right.
And it has like emotional stuff with it. You like remember the time you wore it, you remember the time you got it, and then you just like thank it, and then you have to move on. And it's so beautiful, and it's relatable.
Yeah.
And this game is like nothing I've ever played.
It really shows how humans can empathize with each other. Because you can really just look at an object and understand the significance of that object. And it's just through empathy. That's all it is. It's just, I empathize that she kept her GameCube for like way longer than she probably should have kept a GameCube. You know?
She kept it until she got the Wii, which is backwards compatible.
Exactly.
So she still had the GameCube controllers.
Right, exactly.
But you can play them in the Wii now.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to see if I have any more notes. I love that she had a D&D figure. And did you put the D&D figure up with the other ones from her friends? Yeah. Because they all had like different D&D figures of like their character or whatever. And so I put mine up there and it felt really good to do that.
During the rebuilding part, did you see she finally painted it?
Yes.
She's like, I'm going to start taking care of me, doing the things I want to do. And it was so cool.
It was so good. I love that she always had 1 pound dumbbells. She never upgraded.
Nope.
She never had more than 1 pound dumbbells.
Just toning only.
And she had the same yoga mat from like college.
And then when she finally gets her other friend at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Another yoga mat. And they do yoga together. Boyfriend didn't have a yoga mat.
No, not interested. Protein shakes and the barbell or the dumbbells pyramid only.
She's like, where can I put my 1 pound? He's like, you can't.
So let's talk about the next relationship after we talk about how she collected figures of places that she visited.
Mm-hmm.
How cool was that?
Loved it.
Because you could see that she like went someplace as a teen, and then when she moved into college, she had another little chotsky, as you called them.
Yep. I had to look up how to spell that because I wrote it in the newsletter. It starts with a T. That's a weird.
Oh no,
it's a weird word. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you said, she didn't travel while she was with the boyfriend, and then as soon as she like went through the healing process and got her own place, you saw that she got the little windmill, so she was traveling again.
Yep. And she loved Europe. It was all Europe stuff. It got Leaning Tower of Pisa, a double-decker bus from London.
Yeah.
Got the windmill. There was one other one. Anyway, very Europe. She loved Europe.
Yeah, she loved Europe.
And that's cool. Everyone has a thing. We went to Japan a lot.
Today we were discussing going back to Japan.
Who's gonna stop us?
Nobody. Okay, let's talk about the second relationship. So after she gets her own place and starts to heal, the next level is she's unpacking boxes for someone who's moving in. And it's a lady.
Yeah. It's like, wait. 2 drawers of bras? Also, this is the first game I've ever touched tampons in.
He's touched tampons in real life, everybody. He's bought me tampons before.
I'm an adult. But in games,
yeah,
they're scared of tampons. And
I've never seen a box of tampons in a video game before. In the comments, tell me if you know of a video game that has a box of tampons somewhere.
Maybe I just don't play enough strong female protagonist games. I would love to play more if they're like Unpacking, because this game is incredible.
Yeah, that was really interesting. And so you start unpacking stuff. If you start with the living room, it's unclear of like, someone's moving in, but it's unclear what it is. Yep. And you get to see that her girlfriend, like, loves plants, has a lot of, like, Asian accoutrements. So, like, she has a rice cooker and, like, she has mirin, which is, like, vinegar that you put on rice. Right. Yeah. Mirin's the vinegar you put on rice, right?
Yeah, it's like rice. It's like rice vinegar. I'm not sure if it's exactly rice vinegar, but it's around. It's adjacent.
Right,
rice
exactly.
Vinegar adjacent.
So you get to learn about this girlfriend, like what her hobbies are, what her family was like, all that stuff, what her fashion sense is.
She loves anti-hero.
Hats,
T-shirts, posters. Signed posters.
That's what I loved is not only was the protagonist like unpacking her girlfriend's stuff and putting it up in the house for her, but she was also, I think it was a long distance relationship is my guess. Mm-hmm. And that she mailed the stuff in and she put it up before the girlfriend came over.
I never considered that. It's terrific.
That's what I thought. But there was a place for the poster. Mm-hmm. And it made me just feel really good because it's like, it just, everything synergized and the place felt very happy and like two people who love each other live there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then later they get a house together.
Yeah.
And you have this shelf in the entryway to put all the Europe stuff.
Yeah.
Which was from before they were together. But they're going to fill it with more.
Exactly.
And they get a baby. She finally wrote her book. There's still anti-hero stuff everywhere. Even though they're like probably mid-30s. Like, still love this band. And you don't get the sense she was in the band because she has a signed poster of the band.
No, she
That'd
just
be weird
them.
to sign your own poster.
She just loves them. I thought it was an anime. I didn't even realize it was a musical thing.
Now I'm unsure. I figured it was a band.
I mean, a band makes more sense, but I thought it was like an anime and she had like the voice actor sign it or something.
That also works. There's not a CD.
Yeah.
Like, I like that she has the same MP3 player that travels with her for like 10 years.
Oh my god, yeah.
And you always find a place for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that's all I have.
Me too. This went a while.
It went a bit. Well, it's really emotional. Like, I don't know. It's really emotional thinking about the different moves that we've had. And, the last place that we lived, I loved living there except for the neighbors. Like, that was a really nice apartment. But, like, now that we have this house, it's interesting moving into a house because you can see potential. There's potential everywhere. It's all around you. And it's less about like trying to find a place for something. And it's more like there's this whole room and right now it belongs to the cats, but it could belong to someone else one day.
Well, that's one of the neat things about humans.
Yeah.
We expand or contract to fit our space.
Totally.
It's like with money too, you kind of expand or contract to fit your budget. Like, you see these real rich people, they're like, we have to spend all this money to maintain being rich, and good for them. But
it must be nice.
Well, we have like this basement that we're still like figuring out what it's gonna be because we've never had this much room before,
right?
And we're eventually gonna fill it with super cool stuff, because there's not a lot of things in the way.
Yeah.
Too. Like, you don't have to, like, squeeze yourself into a boyfriend's stuff.
Right.
You can just, like, our place is so much less cluttered than it used to be.
Yes.
Because there's more room for things.
Exactly.
Like, our living room, for example, it's mostly just a
couch and a
TV and some art and a record player.
Look on my Twitter for the art that we have in our living room.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, well, thank you. I hope this is I've never done this format before for a video. I think it's cool. I hope other people think it's cool. If you like it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell.
Bing, bing.
Check out my Patreon. Check out our Twitter. We also are doing a podcast on TF2 very, very soon. We were going to do it tonight, but instead I made Nick talk to me about this video game and listen to me cry about plates. So...
Listen, life is beautiful, and that's how it goes.
But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.